After going to the gym this morning, I rewatched Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora, the entire fight, and I've got quite a few things to say. I've tried to include as many different points in the thumbnail of this video. First of all, there is no question, as far as I'm concerned, that the elbow was accidental. I know Jim Lampley has been saying here that Tszyu was hard done by because Sebastian Fundora fouled him intentionally, and that is the only reason why he won. Now, maybe Tszyu would have won the fight clearly if there wasn't an elbow. He was certainly looking that way in the first two rounds, but I didn't see anything in this elbow that told me it was intentional. It's just very rare that you have a guy who was around 5'10" in Tszyu fighting a guy who was like 6'6" in Sebastian Fundora. It's just so rare that happens. And this, again, was nothing like Tyson Fury throwing that clearly intentional elbow at Francis Ngannou. I feel we need to, again, quell the idea that Sebastian Fundora cheated. Again, the elbow was unfortunate, and it happened in a very, very odd area because it almost cut open Tszyu's cranium. And I want to give a shout out to Mill City Boxing, who brought in the cut man of all cut mans, Tszyu Duran. For those of you who don't know, this is the guy who teaches people how to deal with cuts. This guy does seminars on cuts. And, you know, he was used by the UFC for a long time until they fired him, which was ridiculous, but that's for another day. And Tszyu Duran has worked with fighters like Andre Ward, like Vladimir Klitschko for many years. And, again, Mill City Boxing managed to ask him some good questions. He said that Duran said that if he was in the corner, he would have stopped the fight after the fourth round because the bleeding came from the worst area on the skull, where, again, I'm no doctor, so I don't know this very well, but he pointed to the part where Tszyu got cut, and he said the vein that runs down there is pretty much something you cannot stop. Once it bleeds, and you cannot stop it. But he also said that the way the corner went about it was all wrong, which is why I included in the thumbnail of this video, the corner did not do their job, because Duran says that they used adrenaline cream, which is something I actually question if they didn't use. I thought they just used Vaseline, but I stand corrected there. They did use adrenaline cream, but sticking the towel was a terrible idea because that soaks up all the adrenaline cream, and they might as well have not used anything. He says that what they should have done was get those cotton buds out and press on it, but they must have run out of cotton buds, and he said it was all just a terrible job, and this is why you need an experienced cutman in there. And one thing that I was shocked by, which I heard this from 78 Sports' review, and he, again, watched the fight far more closer than I did because I was trying to watch the UFC simultaneously, which, again, is something I'm not going to do. From now on, I'll just stick to one event per day and just do that, or at a time. But they did not use any ice on Tszyu, which was crazy to me because Sebastian Fundora's team, again, I saw this when I rewatched the fight this morning, they were putting ice on Sebastian Fundora's cheeks from like the third round or something, whereas Tszyu, as soon as he got cut, he grabbed his head and was like, what the hell's happening here? And his corner just kept going back to the towel constantly. It was ridiculous. And I don't know if you can get, if one of the secondary cornermen can leave and try and grab something else because they run out of towels because there's so much blood on one, but yeah, something was very, very poorly handled there. And yeah, Tszyu Duran just says, this is why you need an experienced cutman. So again, check out that interview with Mill City Boxing. Again, shout out to him. That comes down to Tszyu's corner being greedy, not stopping the fight. I heard Mauro Ranallo, who was commentating again, so happy to hear him back on the commentary booth. He said that they had a reporter go to Tszyu's corner, and the corner man, I don't know who it was, but he said to their secondary reporter that their plan was to catch Sebastian Fundora and knock him out, even though Tszyu couldn't see from the third round onwards. Absolutely crazy. So they messed up there, 100%. And the doctor, I've also included in the thumbnail of this video, I don't know what this guy was doing, but he just wasted everybody's time because first of all, he only looked at the cut twice that I could see. One was at the start of the third round, which is the soonest it happened, And he had a look again, I think it was the 6th round, where, again, the start of the next round was delayed, but he he pretended that he was taking a close look and thinking, okay, we got to take the health of the athlete into consideration here. But it looked like this guy was doing nothing. Looked like he was, again, just soaking up the limelight, it seems, because he was looking at the cut, being like, yeah, okay, we're going to let it carry on, but, it looks bad or whatever. But, again, he wasn't doing anything. I've seen refs, and look, if you're a boxing fan, you've all seen refs far more concerned over little grazes, not where somebody is bleeding from their cranium like a damn fountain. Like, what was this guy doing? There are some people saying that the commission may have had something to do with this, where they wanted Tszyu to lose, so they didn't stop the fight for that reason. Now, I know absolutely nothing about whether that is legit or not. I'm not going to conspiracy theories. I'm just going to incompetence, because that is what this looked like. And, yeah, Tszyu's corner, they failed in multiple areas, just sticking to the towel, not using ice, and not even thinking about stopping the fight. The commission, again, they messed up. They should have had a competent doctor who actually seemed to know what he was doing, as opposed to one who was just there for cameras, it seemed. The elbow seemed to be completely unintentional, but there is one thing that I think we can all agree on. Tszyu 100% deserves the rematch, because before that cut happened, he was clearly winning. Now, I know Paulie Malignaggi has had one of his very entertaining, often very much needed rant on YouTube, saying that he was disgusted, etc., and that Tszyu was going to get screwed over. He's saying that Tszyu may not get the rematch. Now, as I've said in another video, we need to wait and see how this plays out. But my personal opinion is you can't judge a fight solely on what happens in the first 2 rounds. There needs to be a lot more that happens before you can say concretely this fighter or that fighter would have won. But we can definitely agree Tszyu deserves a rematch, and let's hope he gets it. But yeah, that's for another day. Let me know what you guys think down below about everything I've talked about. Sort of just another overall review of the fight now that I've watched it back. Let me know if there's anything I've missed. Catch you guys later. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more.